Alright, how are you? How are you? My name is Marashanye, and today we want to talk about fuels. So I'm going to define what the term fuel means. A fuel is anything that can burn in the presence of oxygen to release heat energy. To release heat energy. To release heat energy. That is a fuel. So I'm going to explain what we call fuel engines. I'm going to touch the part of engines, right? Fuel engines, its characteristic is that they convert chemical energy into heat and kinetic energy. They convert chemical energy into heat and kinetic energy. So I'm going to look at a four-stroke petrol engine. And in our next lesson, we're going to talk about a four-stroke diesel engine. But today, we're going to talk about four-stroke petrol engine. As you can see in this picture, the four-stroke petrol engine, we have about 4 strokes in a petrol engine, right? The first stroke is called inlet stroke. The second one is called compression stroke. The third one is called power stroke, and the fourth one is called exhaust stroke. All right, so I'm going to explain each and every stroke in the petrol engine. Right, the first one is called inlet. This is the inlet. This is the inlet. Right. What are the characteristics of an inlet stroke? Right, inlet stroke, as you can see, the inlet valve is open. The inlet valve is open. The inlet valve is open. This is the inlet valve. This is the inlet valve. Is open, and the exhaust valve. This is what? The exhaust valve is closed. As you can see, is what? Is closed. And the movement of piston is very, very important. The piston moves what? Downwards. The piston move downwards. The piston move downwards. Right? Why the piston move downwards? It allows the mixture of petrol to enter into the cylinder. The inlet valve is open because it must allow petrol mixture to enter into the cylinder, because it must allow the mixture of petrol to enter into the cylinder. The exhaust valve is closed because gas remo, because the purpose of exhaust gas is to release exhaust gases out. Right, saka inlet valve ndio inotendera petrol kuti ipinde. That's why iri open. Saka ndo panopinda ne petrol. Then piston must move downwards. Why? To allow petrol air mixture to enter into the what? Into the cylinder. Right, after that inoenda pane stroke yechipiri inonzi compression. Stroke yechipiri inonzi compression. Why ichizi compression? Because pane kutsikirirwa kwepetrol air mixture yapinda yane pa inlet valve. Saka this is number 2. This is compression what? Stroke. Compression stroke tukona kuti ma valves also, both the inlet and exhaust valve, they are closed. Why they are closed? So that pacha compressor petrol air mixture haikwanise kubuda. Right, chichaitika futi ndechekuti piston yedu inenge ichimove upwards. The piston move what? Upwards. The piston move upwards. Right, the piston move upwards to compress petrol air mixture. So in compression stroke, all valves are closed and the piston is moving upwards to compress petrol air mixture. Right, after that, to end up a stroke number 3. The stroke number 3, all valves are closed, but at first the piston is moving up. But due to the compression and ignition of this stroke, kana kuti power which is produced due to compression, tirikuona kuti piston yedu inozoforcewa kuti imove what? Downwards. So in power stroke inonzi kuti power stroke kana kuti inogona kunzi iyo ignition stroke. Pa ignition stroke, all valves are closed. All valves are closed. Saka tiri kubva pa compression tichienda pa ignition. Saka zvaitika pa ignition ndezvekuti petrol yedu yaramba ichikompreswa, ichikompreswa, ichikompreswa kusvika yakunosvika uko ku spark plug icho. Ndocho spark plug ichi. icho chakaningirikira ndo chinonzi spark plug icho, right? Spark plug zvayaita manje apa kuzoproducer the spark kana kuti fire, ndo saka ichinzi spark plug, it produces the spark. Saka payaramba ichikompreswa paya zvasvika pazvasvika zvokuti haichakwanisi kuramba ichikompreswa, ndobva yaproducer a spark kana kuti ignition. That ignition iyoyo it forces the piston to move downwards. It forces the piston to move what? Downwards. Ndo saka takuonapo piston yakudzika, ndo inonzi power stroke, right? And pa stroke iyoyo inonzi power stroke ndo patinoona isusu chemical energy ichiconvertwa into heat and kinetic energy. Why tichiti into heat? Because pari kubuda spark pachabuda heat energy. Kinetic, it means movement. Kinetic energy, it involves movement. Kuroti chemical yaproduced nekuda kwepetrol air mixture ndobva yaproducer heat, because of that spark yo yabudisa heat yo, and ndo panotanga mota kufamba ipapa, right? Pa stage number 4, stage number 4 inonzi exhaust stroke. Why ichinzi exhaust stroke? Because magases aproduced pa power stroke ndo paachatanga kubuda, anobuda nepapi? Anobuda through the exhaust what? Stroke, which means exhaust stroke must be open. Kuroti in the exhaust stroke tikuona exhaust valve is open and the inlet valve is closed. Why the exhaust valve is open? To allow gases to move, out of the cylinder, and the piston is moving upwards. Why the piston is moving upwards? To push the gases to move out through the exhaust what? Valve. This is the 4-stroke petrol engine. In our next lesson, we are going to look at what you call the 4-stroke diesel engine. I think in this case, you are assisted.